What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the big day. We are expecting a tornado outbreak across the deep south in Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and now encompassing Memphis, Tennessee is what the moderate risk is showing us. So let's go ahead and go over all of this right here. Here is the tornado risk. Still a 15% hatched risk right here for the area in question. 10% hatched from the Tennessee-Kentucky border all the way down to near Alexandria, Louisiana. 5% around that. 2% around one of that. The wind threat is interesting, though, because that hatched risk got expanded to almost all the 30% range, so that's going to show you something right there, and we'll explain why in just a second. The hail risk, it's still 15%. However, we now have a hatched area from Shreveport, Louisiana to near Memphis, Tennessee, so very interesting stuff going on. One last thing I need to show you guys real quickly is this right here. Now, what I'm seeing with this right here in the most of the moderate risk area is that there is some partly cloudy skies right now. Some mostly cloudy, some partly sunny, everything like that. Whatever it is, what I'm seeing right here is that generally what some people were expecting was that the sun wasn't supposed to come out till like the mid-afternoon or anything like that. This is from the last 2 hours right here, and this is for a lot of the area in question right here, especially in Mississippi right here. There is still clouds and everything like that, but that's going to be very interesting. If this holds right here, like if we keep seeing the sun getting to the ground and the sun going over going through the clouds and everything, well, we're going to probably see a high risk from this, because this was one of two things that was holding it back. The other thing was the directional shear, and we'll get to that in just a second, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you that real quickly. Let's go ahead and read what's going on right here. This is the summary right here. A severe weather outbreak remains possible across the lower Mississippi Valley and the Mid-South. Most likely time for strong tornadoes is between 5 p.m. and midnight. Let's go ahead and show you some of the risks we have right here. Let's go ahead and read some of the risks we have right here. What we're looking at right now, according to the SPC, is basically, if we go even reflect this on some of the modeling too, according to the HER, is that we could see a discrete supercell mode at first that will eventually develop into a squall line, and this is what we got right here. And this isn't all the way out 100%, but as you can see, we start seeing supercells firing up between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then eventually, as time goes on, they'll start merging together and form this very nice and neat squall line right here. And it is showing some indication of bow echoes right there, which could lead to some embedding tornadoes right there. In fact, if we take a look at the SPC, this QLCS will likely contain embedded supercell and mesovortex structures supportive of tornadoes, including potential for a few EF2s and significant damage swaths up to 90 miles an hour. So even if you guys don't get as many tornadoes, the wind threat is going to be absolutely insane. We are looking at winds of potentially up to 90 miles per hour with some of this, according to the Storm Prediction Center. So this is going to be bad news either way. Like, if you guys get a lot of tornadoes down there, that's going to be really bad news. But if you guys if the squall line maxes out and brings those 90 mile per hour winds, that's going to be really bad right there. But we'll have to keep you guys updated as time continues to go on. We'll be streaming in conjunction with Storms United starting around 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, I want to show you guys a few things. First of all, I want to show you guys the Cape real quickly. The Cape here isn't too bad, honestly. We are cracking 2,000 in parts of northeast Louisiana right here, which that's actually really good for a severe weather event in the deep south right there. Parts of Arkansas by this point, even if we put it earlier, we're approaching around 1,000 in parts of these areas. But what's really going to be carrying it is the shear, as we're seeing quite a bit of shear with this right here. If we take a look at the supercell composite, this is by what? If we go ahead and go to the 12Z with this is probably a better representation of this. The 14Z is not all the way out. Well, if we take a look at the supercell composite, it is very large right here, and this is this is quite considerable. And if we take a look at some of this right here, we're looking at 19. Like, I just found a value of 19 in there, which that is an extreme level. That's a pretty extreme supercell composite right there. The significant tornado parameter, we're cracking 10 in a couple of these areas right here, but the majority of it is right between 7 and 8 or so. So yeah, definitely a potential for a really bad tornadoes right here. And we have a couple of soundings we need to show you, because this is the first sounding right here. The first sounding was taken in eastern Arkansas right here. This is the main threat, PDS tornado, ladies and gentlemen. If we take a look at that shear, there is some more directional shear than what we were seeing before. We were seeing mostly speed shear. The directional shear is starting to pick up a little bit. And look at these SRH values. At 1 kilometer at 373, 3 kilometers 419. That is very good for tornado development. Look at the 1 kilometer shear. We're at 37 knots right here, and at 67 for surface to 6 kilometer. That's going to enhance your supercell development right there, ladies and gentlemen. And this 37 knot shear, that's going to potentially lead to some tornado development right there. So take this very seriously right here. And this is another sounding we have. This is from Louisiana. There is more speed shear than directional shear in this case, but the main threat is still PDS tornado. The shear is 43 knots at surface to 1 kilometer. Look at this. At surface to 3 kilometer for the SRH, we're cracking 450 with this. And that's almost an extreme amount of SRH we're looking at. I was seeing values of over 800 SRH last night with the 0Z NAM. It has since dropped down to around 500 or so in some of these areas. But yeah, this is looking like a really major event. This is looking like a really big tornado outbreak potentially. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the possibilities are there. And we need to take this very seriously as time continues to progress right here. And one last thing I want to point out right here is if we take a look at the effective layer within the probability of an EF2 given supercell right here, look at this right here. This tornado probability, we're already at levels. We're already at a 62% of a percent chance of a tornado happening, and we're past the EF1, EF2 range. This graph is saying that we could potentially be seeing EF4 plus tornadoes in these areas right here. And this is for both of them right here, 65% right here. So this is a very serious situation that's going on, and we will have to continue to update you here. Now, the big question we have here is how bad is this going to get? How bad this is going to get is going to really depend on, number one, if that shear still persists, and number two, if the sun is still able to get to the ground and a lot of these areas, because a lot of these areas, especially in northwest Mississippi, it's mostly partly cloudy to mostly sunny. So yeah, if that continues to go on, and by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where it's the hottest of the day, it's still going on like that. Yeah, there will be no problem with storm initiation right here. We'll be streaming this starting at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.